Genesis 9, I only did 1 through 15 this evening. It's been a long day. I work, and to transcribe all of the chapter takes a lot of time, so I did what I could. I'm trying to transcribe the chapter before I speak on it. Let's call it an act of discipline, but this is Genesis 1 through 9. You'll see I started Genesis 1 here, and I'm basically just transcribing each chapter as I go. I've explained that before in the first entry of Genesis, but I got to chapter 9 verse 15 today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll do 16 through 29, but I've got a fair amount to talk about. Genesis 9, I find it interesting because that's the covenant that God establishes with the rainbow. And I want to talk about the rainbow here in a few minutes. Genesis 9 verse 1 and verse 7, it says, "Be fruitful and multiply," just like in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. That seems to be what God really wants for us. It says, be fruitful and multiply, basically live abundantly, multiply on the earth and live abundantly. God's wish for us is to live an abundant life. If you go outside and you look in the woods, it's full of abundance. Everywhere we look, this world is full of abundance. God's hope for us is to have abundance, but have abundance with the right mindset, meaning we realize where all things come from, from which all blessings flow. And if we seek first God and his righteousness, all of these things will be added unto us. We don't want abundance for abundance sake because we can't take it with us. But while we're here, the good Lord actually wants us to live an abundant life. And I really appreciate that about our Creator. You can see too that before the flood, God was actually pretty chill. In the garden, he was chill. He said, you guys just take care of this place, name the animals, enjoy it, be fruitful and multiply. And basically, there was only one rule. Don't eat from the tree of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. And I was thinking maybe that's actually God protecting us. He knew these young souls coming into these flesh bodies weren't ready for what the fruit of the good and evil knowledge would do to that soul. It was corrupted. They were souls not prepared for such a thing, not developed enough. God's rules always seem to me to be to protect us, not to control us, but to protect us. You can see that the first couple rules came to be after Noah got out of the ark and the floods receded. There were two that I can see here. First of all, I'll say that he changed from the fruit being the meat that we eat in Genesis in the beginning. Now it says in verse 2, animals are food. In verse 3, animals are food now, and they're going to fear you, and you can have all of the creatures on earth to eat. That's a rule that changed, but also he said, kind of like with the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he said, but don't drink the blood. Don't drink blood. So that was a rule. And then he said, if you kill, in verse 6, you'll get killed. Because, what's it say perfectly? It says, for in the image of God made he man. God made us in his image. If you're murdering a human, you're actually murdering a part of God. You're spitting in the face of the great Creator by killing one of his creations. Like, it's original capital punishment. You kill, you get killed. That's a rule change. Today, I was eating dinner with my family, and I was drinking a juice box. Tasted great. We ran out of other drinks, so I was drinking one of my kids' juice boxes, and I noticed the logo, the mark on it was called Apple and Eve. Such good juice, but I'm so disappointed in the name. It's making a mockery of God's creation and of God's story. And there's a little picture of an apple with a bite in it, kind of like this Apple iPhone I'm using to record this, hopefully to the glory of God, using it for good. But it's amazing what we do. We just make mockery of something so important. So I don't even think I'm going to get that juice brand anymore. It's actually a pretty healthy juice, but Apple and Eve? Why the temptation for a kid's juice box? I don't appreciate it. I don't know why we go that way. And that's what I want to talk about too. You know, you've got this rainbow, this beautiful symbol of colorful light that God said, I will show in the clouds. And this is my promise to you and to the other creatures. You see how highly God values the other creatures? That he promised them too. He promised the whole earth, not just the humans. I'm not going to flood you anymore. He values those creatures. I love that. But going back to the rainbow, think about the nature of the rainbow. When you think of rainbow now in this society, what is the number one thing that goes to your head? For me, unfortunately, it's the programmed nature of this society. My mind goes to the rainbow flag. The rainbow has been hijacked for nefarious purposes, for pride. The rainbow flag literally represents pride. Pride of the flesh. Pride of sexual lust, pride of living in sin. It's very hardcore satanic. Something that God uses for good, Satan wants to twist for bad. And so many people out there participate in that. You can live in your sin. That's between you and the good Lord. You can live in your sin. But to take the beauty of the rainbow and to twist it and warp it into something so ugly, mind you, so ugly, and egotistical and selfish. It's really sad. That's what I've got today. That's Genesis 1 through 15 in chapter 9. Hopefully, Lord willing, tomorrow I'll do 16 through 29. I hope you have a great evening.